gets dark.
Hello and welcome to the DarkPeaks podcast. The only place you can hear anybody talking about Twin Peaks in the whole of the internet. I am DemonPeaks. Sean, this is of course GothPeaks. Adam, say hello, Adam.
Hola.
On today's show, at least to start, we're going to be starting with our rewatch and conversation about what else Twin Peaks. Starting with the pilot, also known as Northwest Passage, which aired on April 8th, 1990, was written by David Lynch and Mark Frost, and directed by David Lynch. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to the people who did our opening song, Luna is in Trouble. The song is Midnight Coffee. You can find them on Instagram, right?
Yep, it's Lula is in trouble.
Lula. When I looked up her,
like Wild at Heart,
the thing, it said Luna. On the actual clip, on the actual Midnight thing, I went to the look up who did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what doesn't matter. If you're on YouTube, our logos and artwork are done by Corvid Days. Find them on Etsy. They do amazing work. And today's show's title card will be done by Goth themselves. We don't know what it is yet, but good work. I'm sure you'll be doing good work.
Wow.
I don't know what format you're gonna be listening on. If you're on YouTube, the link for our Anchor is on there. And if you're on Anchor, our link for our YouTube is on there. I think we're gonna be on Spotify. I don't know yet. Of course, please check out our Instagrams. He's DemonPeaks, I'm GothPeaks. And let's get into it. Okay, we're talking about Northwest Passage. When was the last time you watched this before today?
Before today would be
before we talked about
Wednesday
it, right?
Last week, the day before the day we were originally supposed to record this.
Okay. They don't know when we record these. This could be anything.
But before that, before we plan on doing this, it was a good while. I would say like maybe about 4 months, maybe a few months, 5 months.
So within a couple months. Likewise, I think last time I watched it was
I lost you. You there?
Oh, hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh wait. Yeah, okay, I got you now. Yeah.
What happened there, huh?
That was a Bluetooth. I lost connection for a second or something.
Bluetooth. What do you got? A Rolex watch too?
It's all I got. I was worried this thing was sounding shit.
No, you actually, the audio has been pretty good.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
You don't sound bad at all. We're on the playback, especially.
I'm trying to make sure I project though too. So
from the diaphragm. It's from the diaphragm.
Yeah.
When was the first time watching this? I think we talked about it last week, but I just want to go over that. First time watching the pilot, just the pilot. Did you
just the pilot?
Yeah. Did you watch it in order? Did you see this pilot before it and then like you didn't know how you felt, or did it suck you in?
It took me a few tries to actually get into watching all of it. I liked the pilot every time that I watched it.
Yeah.
But I never had the time to invest into watching the whole series.
You're not the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah, it's a regular thing, and each time, you know, I would still enjoy it and recognize something new. But I really got into starting to watch it all the time. I think it was around late 2019, so very recently.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you get into it, you get into it.
Yeah.
Like
I fucking got sucked in.
You know, I think that's the good thing about the Twin Peaks community is we're not like here's a new fan. Like, it gives a shit when they watch it. We had to wait 25 years for a next season. Who cares when they watched it? Like,
most of the time we're trying to convince someone to watch it, right?
Yeah. I was only 3 when the show was on originally. I obviously didn't watch it then. You know what I mean? Like,
it was like, it came out, I think, in 89, right?
89,
or
yeah.
90. Yeah, 89. So yeah, it was the year before I was born.
Yeah. So I mean, we were not tuning in to watch Twin Peaks at 1 and 3.
No.
Now, here's the thing about pilots. I want to get into pilots a little bit because I got on a little tangent here. Do you think pilots are part of a season? But do you think sometimes they don't count? Some shows have a pilot and then the first episode is different casting.
Be its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because a lot of pilots are just for the network.
Yeah, usually that's the
Yeah.
way it is. It's going to be something separate, and then they make some adjustments to the pilot after they show it, right?
Which do you prefer? Do you like it when the pilot's part of the show?
I don't really have a preference. I don't think
Yeah.
it needs to rely on any rule. That's the thing. So I'm
No,
not
it's
used to a pilot being any certain way.
and I was looking at the famous pilots that were different. Of course, the Game of Thrones pilot was notoriously different, though it was never
Mhm.
seen by anybody. But it had different
I
cast
heard
plot.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek had a different captain, who
Mhm.
wasn't Shatner. Seinfeld was the Seinfeld Chronicles, and Kramer was Kessler, and he had a dog.
Oh wow.
Buffy, 30 Rock, and I just thought it was interesting, like the different. I remember the Seinfeld Chronicles. I watched it not too long ago, the first episode. And I'm like, what the? I forgot how weird it was. They're in a different coffee shop, and it's some waitress instead of Elaine, and I'm like, this is stupid. Of course, famous pilots that were never made into shows. The Clerks pilot, which was awful. I think it's on YouTube, and not
It's not the animated one.
no, the animated is awesome.
Yeah.
Clerks, the live action pilot, which the two guys that were in Clerks, I forget the real names, Dante and Randall, who played them, did not get the parts for the show. They went out for it. They went out for them and did not get the parts. How are you casting Dante and Randall like Dante and Randall and not they're Dante and Randall?
No, yeah, I want those guys.
No, they
I want
cast
Brian O'Halloran.
yeah, Brian O'Halloran. That's I can't remember that.
Yeah.
But those guys went out. They applied for the job. They went out and they did it, and they were like, "You guys aren't good enough to be the characters that are you."
What the fuck? Who do they ever get for it?
They're two guys I don't
No
I don't-
names?
off the
Or-
top of my head. I don't know who they are. The guy, one of the guys in it is the guy from Pete and Pete, Endless Mike, isn't it? If you remember Endless Mike,
I don't
he was
remember.
Pete's villain. He's in it. but he's-
Oh, the guy that wore the black.
yeah,
the
and he's like black.
shirt.
He looked like the guy from Green Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
There was a Dark
Great
Man.
show.
There was a Dark Man pilot, like the Liam Neeson movie.
Nice.
I didn't see it. Now Heat Vision and Jack, where Jack Black is an astronaut and Owen Wilson is a talking motorcycle that Dan Harmon did, is a fantastic pilot. Do some favor.
Dan Harmon?
Dan Harmon did it. Yeah, he's the one of the writers on it.
Oh, so that's relatively recent then, right?
No, it was right after the Ben Stiller show, I think, went off the air.
Oh shit! Wow. Okay.
So,
So you know your history with the pilots then. I don't know. the
I
history
do
of
some
pilots.
research. I'm a big like lost media fan. Like anything that's like doesn't we found lost media. I love it. I get into it.
See, my
Okay.
introduction to the definition of a pilot was from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, when she's
So-
talking about we filmed a pilot with the chicks that are one girl was
Yeah,
good with
yeah.
karate or
What's a
whatever.
pilot? What's a pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that scene because I'm gonna make an unfriendly thing here.
No, I already know.
I do not like Quentin Tarantino. I do not like him.
Why don't you like him?
Okay, well, him as a person who enjoys movies, I like his movie
Mhm.
reviews, his movie opinions are great. I love listening to him talk about movies.
But his actual movies.
his
you know,
actual
just
movies,
kinda-
they're not like Reservoir Dogs. I liked okay. Pulp Fiction's fine. I just
Uh-huh.
can't get into them. I find them to be. He apes a lot of other people's stuff, and then he calls
he
it.
admits to that too, at least though.
But admitting to it doesn't make it better. If I wrote Mein Kampf and then was like, well, I know I ripped it off. Like I still fucking ripped it off. Just because you say you ripped it off doesn't mean you didn't rip it off. Like it's okay.
Rip the pages off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that that's what he said. He said he got into writing scripts by rewriting other people's scripts. That's not writing a
yeah.
script. That's just copying a script.
I think he mentioned that too. I think on
Yeah.
Rogan's podcast.
And that's fine. It's funny. I think he's a nice guy, and I think he's got a hell of an eye as a director. He's a good director. I
Yeah,
just don't like his movies. And
That's fine.
And he likes feet a
I got-
little too much for me.
yeah,
I
he
don't
does.
want to look at the feet. I don't have any problem with feet. Feet are perfectly fine, but
It's not
I don't-
your thing necessarily.
it's not my thing.
Not
It's
my thing either.
Uma Thurman's feet don't do anything for me, you know?
You don't need to see her
And what was the
wiggle
chick?
her big toe.
Yeah, or whatever she's fucking doing. All right, let's get into the actual episode. Talking points. We're going to start kind of breaking down our opinions on things. The beginning, pre-Cooper, we start with an extended version of the theme song, which I love the extended version. It's like an extra 35 seconds. That was my
Yeah, you get like the
MySpace
whole
theme
3 minutes
song.
of intro
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
wonderful. I could
Love
listen to that I wouldn't mind if they did the extended version for every episode.
I
they
would
didn't
love it. And
cut it down
and you
that much.
can never skip it. You can never skip it either.
No, and I know that people were talking about that on Netflix, but whatever. We start out with we get Pete right away, and Pete had a great introduction. Of everybody in the show, in the pilot, Pete may have had one of the better introductions.
Mhm.
You get
I
so
agree.
much about him gone fishing,
Gone
And,
fishing.
yeah, and Catherine won't kiss him, and I don't know what Josie's doing, putting on a bunch of makeup.
Sensually putting on makeup, looking at
Yeah,
herself in the
like
mirror.
alone in a mirror.
Yeah. Lots of foundation.
They like made it like a geisha, but she's Chinese, so I don't know why.
Yeah, but no, yeah, not only a great introduction to the character, but to the show, and like the whole vibe of the show. That totally introduced it.
Well,
Great.
what you're going to expect. We have a weird small town, a dead broad, and and Laura.
And a mildly funny presentation. I mean,
Yeah.
Pete's hilarious, dude.
I love Pete. He just wants to go
I
fishing.
love him too. Yep.
And then
Lonesome foghorn blows.
I could watch. I wish he did more movies than like the 10 he did.
I only know the David Lynch stuff he did.
He was in Secret Agent Club, which stars Hulk Hogan, and he plays a mad scientist, and his boss is Ed Begley Jr.
That sounds amazing.
I'm just saying that film exists. Jack, if you ever want 6 degrees separation between Jack Daniels and Hulk Hogan, you don't need it because they were in the movie together.
The only movie I recall seeing with Hulk Hogan in it was one of the 3 Ninja movies.
3 Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Oh fuck you!
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, I've seen every Hulk Hogan movie, much to my chagrin. I'm going to be reviewing them on my other channel, my Tono Makaya channel one day.
Looking forward to that.
And it might break me because some of them are so fucking bad. And then we have some other intros I want to talk about. Lucy, we get her zaniness right off the bat about the phones. I love it.
Lucy. I love Lucy.
I thought Harry was disappointing at the beginning because he's got no personality. He doesn't really get a personality until Cooper shows up.
You know what? I got a whole new view on Harry. I'm looking at him. It's really stupid, but like you kind of look at him as like just this stoner character.
Stoner.
He's looking at
Okay.
Yeah. It's fun to imagine him as this stoner character who is just witnessing all the stuff that's happening around him. Lucy over explaining so much,
and he's just kind of like
he's just like.
That explains the food scene later where he eats the donut, like he inhales
that and he stuffs his whole mouth. Yeah.
I never thought
and then also one more part in that is when he has to tell Coop twice, I can get you a great rate at the Great Northern. Like
I get you a great rate.
he didn't hear him the first time, and then he's just like in his stoner way, I can get you a great rate at the Great Northern.
I never thought of Harry as a stoner, but I guess there's not a lot to do in this town.
It's just fun to think of it that way.
Instead of doing all the cocaine, he does some pot. I imagine they grow it, because what's Jacoby doing? He's fucking, that guy's high as a kite.
He's smiling way too much. Yeah. I have a note here that says smile, stop smiling, Jacoby.
We'll get to him. I want to get to Andy. I want to talk about Andy for a reason. Andy's crying at Laura's is so important to me. On the second or third watch, I think of how genuine it must be to have grieving people, and you have one dead girl in a show, and it made this cop break down. And I love that because so many other shows present. I go back to Mandy Patinkin and he was a Criminal Minds, and he left the show because every episode they had dead women. All these dead women, he said it got to me. And
they were making like consumable.
Yeah,
to
they were a commodity. And we look at this guy who's a cop and he's having a breakdown over one dead girl and how important that is. And I really love that part.
I love that part too. I love Andy too. I mean, he's a great character.
And this made you, and they kind of play it for goof. And the first time I watched it, I was like, what a silly guy. And then I watch it and I'm like, it makes me feel for Andy more than.
That's the genius of the show. That is the absolute genius of the show right there. One of the examples. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, this guy, he
what a goofball, crying at a dead girl.
but also at the same time, I felt really sad watching that too, just because he played that so well.
I think
And then it balances that really well, I feel like.
I think as you mature and with Twin Peaks, you come back and you get different views on the same thing you saw before, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's one of them. Like the Palmers, we know what happens, but they come off as genuinely grieving people in this episode, genuinely hurt.
Yes.
And I think it's great. I think
I note how amazing their acting is in this. Ray Wise and Ray Zabriskie.
Her in particular, Sarah, just
she's
nailed
the
it. And she's chain smoking and she's freaking out and she's yelling.
plays
and she's
that so well.
running around. And
one note about Andy though, actually that kind of amused me. Another stupid anecdote, but was it Harry mentions that he's crying again, just like the barn last year.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like, wonder if he was even crying at a body. Wonder if it was like a dead cow.
It's like old Mr. Gunderson's cow. He had to put it down. Oh, Andy.
You can't take it.
Move over a little bit.
Poor guy.
Move over to your left. Move over to your left a little bit.
Oh,
you're out of center. You're better.
There we go. Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we get Audrey, and we go right to Audrey, and they do a big thing about her shoes in this episode, which bothers me. She puts on different shoes, and then when she gets to school, she takes off shoes and puts on high heels. But why?
Yeah, I never absorbed what that was all about.
I thought it was like maybe her dad would be mad, but her dad doesn't give a fuck what she wears. She doesn't.
No.
Weird, but beautiful. Oh my god! And we talked about this. She's the only person who substantially changes from the pilot, looks wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her hair.
Even
at all.
sort of attitude wise, she's much less mean. And they sort of present her as almost being Donna's friend in this episode.
Yeah.
She's smoking and she's like, "Hi, Donna." Like she's like, walks by and she's laughing and giggling.
Sharing a laugh and everything.
Whereas we never see them interact as really friends. Like there's a bathroom scene, but it's very contentious in the bathroom scene later, like episode 2 or whatever. This one they're presented as friends.
Even after they mention that Laura died, when they show her, she's just like straight face.
It's very strange. I don't know if they didn't know the relationships yet, because then we're framed with James and Donna, and it's framed like these two are going to be the main characters, because we keep getting them for the better part of the episode is about James and Donna, and outside of Coop, it seems like it's going to be a lot about them, and they're so uninteresting.
I don't know if I ever really took it that way, or if I ever got that vibe that they're making them seem like the main characters. I felt like it was balanced with showing all the characters. For me personally, maybe you noticed more things that I didn't.
The third act was mostly Donna and James. It was about them meeting, about them in the roadhouse, about them going on the thing. It was about them loving Laura, loving each other.
Actually. And all the fucking note exchanging.
I'm going to get into the note things. I got a big problem with the note thing.
I know you do.
We do the classic. We have the dancing guy in the school who, for some reason, is a big meme. He's huge. I love that guy, and we never see that guy again. I would love to see that guy in every episode.
What's he up to?
Instead of like a star wipe or a fade, I want that guy dancing the scene out. You know what I mean? He's like, and then we go to the principal. Is a guy that was in like a bunch of stuff in the 90s.
He's in a bunch of stuff. He does
Boy
a bunch
Meets
of small
World,
parts.
and I wish we saw more of him. I really like that guy. I want to see more.
He's a likable character,
and
in
he's
a lot of the stuff that he plays.
He was in everything. He was like Roseanne, and like I remember him from everything. And he gets to one
throughout
scene,
the 90s for sure,
and he nails it. He nails that one scene, and then we don't see him.
He's really good. It's heartbreaking.
We don't see him again. I want to see that more. Well, nobody goes to school for the remainder of the show except for an old woman. So
we'll get to that later.
And then we go to Bobby, Shelley, and Norma. All great. Bobby has the Sean Hunter look, pre-Sean Hunter.
Yeah.
And then
the inspiration for Sean Hunter, probably.
There's a funny part. Okay, so Bobby is taking.
Wait, wasn't Boy Meets World before Twin Peaks?
No, that was after. It was 92, 93.
You're right. Yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah.
They talk about so Bobby and Shelley are fooling around. They're banging. He's talking about his pocket rocket, 4-stage pocket rocket. I don't know about you, man, but I've never done a 4-stage pocket rocket. I don't know. I get to 2.
Tell me what that is.
I don't. Ask David Lynch. Something dirty.
I don't know, man.
It's one of those things that sounds like it's a sex act, but it's not. you
There's a
know?
lot of things in this that sounds like it's a sex act that
It makes
it's
me think.
not.
I know Dave Lynch has had sex as he has kids. Makes me think that he doesn't
Mhm.
understand what it is.
That's a funny thought.
Like he's not 100% certain that a pocket rocket is not a euphemism for sex that kids use. He's never heard it.
It's pleasant,
Yeah.
but I don't really understand it.
I imagine him off stage. They're like, do I have to say this line? He says, go ahead and say the line, pocket rocket. Like, okay, you're a 4-stage pocket rocket. And then they talk about Bobby and Shelly, and they're like, do you think Norma knows about it? Okay, A, why are you picking Shelly up from her job? That's weird. You're not friends. 2, you guys are making out right in front of the double R. Yeah, she knows you guys are fooling around.
Making it pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
You're also taking her home to do. You're not friends. We never see Bobby and Shelly interact outside of fooling around ever again.
Mhm. I mean, that's all you see them do. That's
Yeah,
all
he
you
doesn't,
see them do.
especially because he'll be at the double R and she pretends like she doesn't really know him. You'll see this happen a couple of times.
Yeah, kind of
She'll
like,
she'll be very casual about Bobby being there, and it's like because you're trying to hide they're fooling around, but not in this episode. They're
Mhm.
like, I'm here to pick her up. Like, oh, okay, to do what?
I can see that's one of the changes from the pilot for sure.
I'm okay. Well, but it's not even a change because they mentioned, do you think they know about us?
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, you're fooling around in front of my restaurant. See you guys. And then they're always hanging out. She doesn't go to school with him anymore.
Yeah, she dropped out, right?
Yeah. Well, to go marry Leo, which Leo is presented as scary in this. I like the scary.
He is
Leo,
a little bit more
except for the
scary in this
fucking. He's
one.
got this thing going on.
The Tears for Fears thing going on.
It's
Yeah.
so awful. He needs a haircut like I need a haircut. Looks like a fucking idiot.
Oh, I mean, if anybody here needs a haircut,
I need a haircut. Yeah, but at least I'm not as bad as Leo, and I don't beat my girlfriend savagely with the sack of soap or whatever the fuck it is. So
yeah,
I'm
Full
good.
Metal Jacket
I'm
style.
better. Yeah. She's like what is his name? It's D'Onofrio in that, you know.
Mhm.
He looked like shit in that, huh?
Yeah, he did.
He's never
looked
looked that
very
good.
strange
He's
in
never
that.
looked that good though.
Mm-mm.
He's not a
Never
good
has, but there he looked pretty bad.
I think the worst
As a
he
pile.
looked was Men in Black. When he's like an alien
Yeah.
and the guy's wearing him a skin. I mean, he looked pretty
Pulls
shitty.
his face out and
Yeah,
everything.
what was the one with him and Jennifer Lopez? The Cell?
Oh, dude, I barely remember that one.
Yeah,
I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember that one at all.
I remember it being really dark.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, it came out in like what,
That's-
99, 2000, something like that.
It had to be early 2000s at some point.
Yeah. Mhm.
He was good. He's a good actor. Then we go to Leland seeing Laura in the she's dead, she's laid on the slab, and that's a good scene. We're both dads, I don't know if anybody knows this about me and you, but that hit me more as a dad now, seeing that my dead daughter. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
yeah, absolutely. Same.
Then we go to the interrogation at the school. Hawk and Andy are the good cop, stupid cop. Totally, I don't know. I didn't love the scene with them interviewing Bobby, and the first time they interview him there, because they were like,
Yeah.
they were confused with what they were asking. Bobby, where were you? He's like, I was clear. Exactly where I went to either double R. I went for a run. They're like, oh well, we don't believe you. He's like, okay, ask anybody.
Hawk
double
comes
R.
off as a lot more intense in this one than he does.
He's very like stoic and like big eyed.
Yeah.
And he's mean and he really grew into that like gentle.
I think Harry starts sharing some of his weed with him.
Hawk's the one growing the weed. I'm not trying to stereotype, but Hawk's the one growing the weed.
Yeah, that
If anybody's growing the weed, I've been around Native American people, and they have better weed in New Mexico and stuff like that. Like you want something good. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go to Johnny White guy and get some swag. They don't even have swag anymore. That doesn't exist. Everything weed's digital now. It's all digital. You got little things. It used to be analog. Now it's digital. All digital.
We still prefer analog.
You know what? If I'm gonna do it, I wanna see it. You know what I mean? I don't know this. People will be like, well, the THC in that it's a high. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. Will it get me high? Yes.
You're like what's his name from Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
See,
I
don't care what it's called. I just want a bag of weed.
This is why I used to smoke crack, because I know there's not types of crack. I'm not going and getting this crack will This is crack. What are you doing, crack? Like, no bullshit. I don't gotta know anything about it. I don't gotta know what ratio of crack to butter is in the mixture. I think there's
Is that
some
the crack or
egg.
butt crack?
Yeah. I'll do some butt crack too. But
At the same time.
well, I mean, yeah, you could yeah.
We'll talk about that later. That's for the Patreon.
It's the Patreon special. You get to talk about doing crack. It's hard to do. You could do cocaine off a butt crack, which I've done that, but
yeah,
you can really do crack off a butt crack.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be difficult.
Allegedly, we can do these things. Yeah.
Painful. Then we go to Sarah, and I love that they're like shooting her full of Thorazine or pethidine. And this is for the first couple episodes. They're just shooting her full of. I would love to be in Twin Peaks because it's all hot women pie, and they give you drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just
and it's not like she's not used to drugs already. So
no, she's
we'll
getting
get to that later.
that I have some questions about that one when we get to that. Then we go to the Josie Pete Catherine dynamic where they close down the mill, and I love the Josie Pete Catherine dynamic where Pete's in the middle of them, of this like warring women, and Catherine's such a strong. She's scary, man. She's scary.
Yeah, she is.
And she fires that guy.
You don't want to get in her way.
She got like the Cruella de Vil sort of attitude.
You know what? That actually reminded me of, not to spoil it, but The Return, Diane in The Return. Her, what's her name? Fuck you. What's the word?
Yeah. What's your name? Tammy. Well, fuck you, Tammy. Yeah, I love that. I love when Albert's like,
reminded me of that.
Yeah, I know. Fuck you, Albert. This is it. But Catherine's scary, and she comes off very strongly in this, and I wish we did more with Catherine. I don't know. I would love to have seen her return in The Return.
I would love to see her in anything now.
I remember she was in an episode of Law and Order SVU. She was really scary in that.
She is still alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was like beating some mentally deficient kid and made her kill, and she killed a girl and then blamed it on him. And I was like, damn, that shit.
I can see Catherine doing that.
Yeah, that fucked me up. And then here's something I think. I think Laura and Josie banged. She was teaching her
see that
English.
Wow.
English. Josie's hypersexual. Laura's hypersexual. She was teaching her English, and Josie speaks terrible English.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What kind? When
English,
did she actually learn the English?
She doesn't even know what shenanigans are. So I don't know what Laura,
into them.
Laura had a busy schedule. She was on Wheels on Wheels. Yeah. She was going, but I'm telling you right now, she was banging Josie. That's why Josie was so upset about Laura dying. Because why else? She didn't really know her outside of that. Like, and
then with Meals on Wheels, you have Harold.
She was banging Harold too. She was also
there you go. That's another thing that was in her schedule that she was squeezing that time for.
She was using all of her extracurricular activities as an outlet of her pain, her sexual pain, her et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But every single other thing that she does also includes somebody banging somebody.
Yes.
And I don't know why this would be different. Why was just
we should mention there are going to be some mild spoilers. There will be some.
We're going to try to not spoil so much, but it's going to be. You're not watching this and never having seen Twin Peaks. If you're doing that, you're watching the wrong.
You have, but there's better podcasts for that for people to
that they'll go through. This is just a talk about point by point.
And we should mention them. They're Talking Backwards and Damn Fine TV. They do
both of them are fantastic.
Amazing.
In their own right, and they both bring something different to the table that's different than us.
Yes.
Because the girls over at Damn Fine TV, they have a really good chemistry. Those two
very good chemistry.
I could listen to them talk. I listened to one of their stuff about American Horror Story, and I hate American Horror Story, and I still listen to it. And I was like, this is really interesting. And I hate this show. They're so bubbly and fun, and they're like really interesting people.
They got you into it. They can help you. They can help you get into something that's not that great.
I'm not gonna get into it, but they're good people to listen to.
Yeah, they definitely have good
and
chemistry.
the Damn Fun, not the Damn Fun, the Talking Backwards guys. They're very methodical. They go over all
they're very tight.
They're like a Reddit thread. You know what I mean? Of like ideas. Like they're just tight.
I love them. I love them very much.
I like listening to them. Like after watching episodes, sometimes I'll put them on just as kind of background noise. And
they're great. They have such a great back and forth too. Tyler cracks me the fuck up.
None of them are as interesting as us. I want to point that out, and they don't ever talk about doing cocaine off assholes, not once.
No, and they wouldn't.
And all of them have I heard that. So if you guys are listening, step up your game. Last week we talked about jacking off in movie theaters. Where are we gonna go next? Okay, then
Just tell them to prepare for that if they ever come on this podcast as a guest.
I know Coral's having a hard time. Coral's Wholesome Peaks, but I want her on first, just so I can.
Yeah, of course.
I want to ride her ass out of town, ride her off Instagram for good, not just 2 weeks.
It's always fun seeing you guys go back and forth online. So, I'm just going to be sitting there with my popcorn.
She plays along very well because I did it as a whim.
Sense of humor about it.
I did as a whim one time, and then I was like, "Hey, I apologize. I was blah blah blah." She was like, "I know." She's like, "I doubt you were kidding," and I'm like, "Cool." So I'm going to keep doing it. Seinfeld plays along too as well because he looks like a white collar criminal. When I mentioned that about what's his name, Peaks in the Hall the other day, but I'm 100% certain. I'm 100% certain that Seinfeld works for Halliburton. Or someone like that. You know what I mean?
I think you might be right.
He was big in the Bush administration, somewhere high up. I'm just telling you. So if you're listening to his stuff, know that you have funded terrorism.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna have to learn to be okay with that because I do listen to his stuff too.
Well, he definitely he was the one who told Bush about 9/11 happening 3 days before. I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure the Seinfeld is 95 years old as well. He looks different. He just looks young. Then we go to Ronit on the bridge and the iconic picture.
Great shot.
Seeing her walking. I love the guy. Like, I don't even know what he's doing. He's doing something. Oh, girl on a bridge. Oh. Like, they almost didn't need that guy to react to it.
No.
He just didn't add anything to it. Because her, just the disheveled, shitty looking. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I didn't like it, but
terrifying.
It was good. It was a good scene. Then we get to Big Ed's gas farm. I love Big Ed. Love him.
Who doesn't love Big Ed?
I don't know.
He's very.
We're going to find out this episode doesn't love Big Ed.
Tell me why. You're going to tell me why.
No, so some people in this episode don't love Big Ed, and that'd be Bobby and Mike.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, so James gives a note to Ed, his uncle, to give to Donna. Why would Donna go there but to look for James? And James talks to her at school. Give her the note then. And it's the note to meet her at the Roadhouse. So call her. And what if she doesn't go to Ed's? She's never going to get this note.
What? Yeah.
And then
there's too much going on there.
Later, when Donna comes, she takes the note and then she tells Ed, after taking the note from James, she tells Ed to tell James she's looking for him. The note says go to the Roadhouse. Just go to the Roadhouse if you're looking for James.
Mm-hmm. That's one way to simplify it, right?
But
no, that's there's the logic works different in Twin Peaks, right?
Everybody has to go to Ed's, but she didn't even go to Ed's to get gas. She was waiting at Ed's for James.
There's no standard logic in Twin Peaks.
I'm not. You're not defending. You have no defense for this. You have none.
That's all.
It's just fucking stupid.
That's my only defense.
It's just goofy. it's not like the
best my only
thing in the
defense,
world,
so I can accept
but
it.
Every time I watch it, I just get so mad. I'm like, you gave your uncle a note to give to a girl that he's not going to regularly see. You saw her. You went to school with her. You were just
it's
there.
Amusing anger, isn't it?
It's frustrating. Then we get Nadine. I love Nadine.
Nadine's
burners ain't gonna hang themselves. Yeah, okay. Ed. So you got that. And they were the couple and the people under the stairs as well.
What was that?
Nadine. Do you ever see People Under the Stairs?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen People Under the Stairs.
So the evil couple in that is Ed and Nadine. Same actors.
Oh shit. Well, I need to see that then.
Then we meet the one Dale Cooper. Fantastic cop. Up there with Columbo, Kojak, Stabler. People say, "Oh, Mulder and Scully are more comparable." Mulder and Scully were terrible at their jobs. Terrible. They weren't. They didn't do anything. They didn't prove anything or solve anything. Every case ended with and then there was no evidence of anything happening. Here's my report. You're bad at your job.
I haven't seen enough cop shows to know too many.
You've seen the X-Files
or cop characters. Well, yeah, no, the X-Files is the only one that I understand what you mean. But
Stabler was Elliot Stabler from Law & Order SVU.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of sexual energy to that role. A lot of sexual but Cooper's eccentricities really make the opening scene. His love of the lamplighter they got a cherry pie, that'll kill you. He says that later, but
You love
Oh,
his enthusiasm is contagious.
it's infectious, and
Mhm.
he's so peppy. He's got there's something in him. He's got a jazz in him when he
Yeah,
moves and he
exactly. That's a good
talks.
way to put it. A jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan he's lithe like a snake.
Mhm.
There's something about the guy, and you watch
It's
him.
hard not to feel
Yeah,
positive
he's
when
compelling
you're around
right
that.
away, and he's
Mhm.
presented as competent and soft. He thinks outside the box, but he's not silly. Like how he breaks
Yep.
into Laura's diary by just breaking open the thing, like
He just
lateral
like
thinking.
shrugs.
Yeah, lateral thinking. Why haven't you gotten to it? We're looking for the key. The keys are this big. Do you ever see those diaries? Break the fucking thing
Mhm.
open. He's like, look at him. Like,
At
he
least
gives him
try
a
to
big.
break it open.
Yeah, he gives him a big smile. Like, you're an idiot, almost. You know what I mean? Like, he's almost condescending in this episode, almost,
Almost
but not
a little
quite.
bit.
Then he
Yeah,
stops him in the hall.
he's another character that comes off a little bit hard at times.
You know what? I like that though because I like to think that Twin Peaks softened him.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good way to see it. Yeah.
Because if you watch the show, he gets more increasingly nicer, and he wants to stay in Twin Peaks, and he wants to not do his job and solve this murder. And I
He
almost
sees
think,
more of a reason to start whittling wood.
yes, yeah, he
Yeah.
feels like these people are really nice people, instead of
Mhm.
this is my job as an FBI agent to get in this town and get out.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something more here for me.
Of course, we get a throwback to the Fugitive TV show and movie with the one-armed man, who will later be
Oh,
known
yeah?
as Mike, or Philip Gerard, whatever you want to call him. It's the same guy.
Yep.
We get Dr. Jacoby and his tie fingering scene, which I hate the tie fingering. I get so
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
I know.
The implications of him talking about a dead girl and fingering his tie are
Yeah, I don't like it. He's
why.
just creepy all around.
And he comes off very much as the guy you think did it, outside of like Leo and maybe
That was
Bobby.
intentional, though,
Yeah,
right?
oh, absolutely. I would hope so.
Yeah.
See, the one thing I do think that they lacked in this episode, besides Jacoby, is making you think people might have done it. And I'll get to the dismissal of that later, but like I wanted everybody to be seen as anybody could have done it. And they didn't really give me that. And the scene where they tell the guy to leave and he says his name, I love that scene because it wasn't supposed to be in there.
Which
They're in the autopsy. Cooper's getting the thing under the fingernail, and he turns to the extra and he goes, "Can you leave?" And the guy goes, "Oh, my name is John," or whatever the fuck he says. And then he goes,
Yeah, okay.
"Can you leave?" And that was apparently not supposed to be. It's not. The guy didn't. He thought they weren't filming or something, and just like, "Oh, John." And the flickering lights weren't supposed to be happening. I love that because it's perfect.
I know the flickering lights were an accident.
But if you watch it, he's like, "Oh, hey, can you leave?" "Oh yeah, it's Fred, fucking whatever." And he's like, you can see Kyle MacLachlan like kind of look for a second. He's like, "Can you leave? Like, get the fuck out of here, dick." And they mentioned Sam and Albert in this one. We're talking to Diane in the recorder. Sam Stanley and Albert.
I noticed that last time I watched it.
I never catch that they mentioned Sam because I just forget that they mentioned Sam because I watched Fire Walk with Me so much longer after the show. Like I didn't even think about, Sam Stanley. They had mentioned him. They mentioned him more.
There's
than
all
once.
those details sprinkled in throughout the series.
That one in particular. It gave a world thing because Sam is kind of important.
He is pretty important.
Kind of. He did crack the Whitman case.
Yeah.
Mike, then we meet Mike, not one-arm Mike, Donna's boyfriend Mike, who comes off as a huge dick here, which is
way different. He softens way.
Oh my god,
a lot more later.
He becomes a little like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like that though, because she's like, I have an abusive, and that's what kind of drives her into James's arms, is that her boyfriend's like a piece of shit. And then we get a scene that I don't particularly like. I like the scene, but I don't like what it implies. They get the scene where they interrogate Bobby. It's Dale Cooper interrogating Bobby, and he rules Bobby out as a suspect right away. And that's not like it's an implication. He flat out says he didn't do it.
Why don't you like that?
Because I wanted everybody to be seen as a potential suspect.
Okay.
And it's not like, and I had someone go, well, it was supposed to be a red herring. No, we're supposed to trust Dale Cooper in this part. We're supposed to be relying on his thoughts. He's the authority. If we lose him here, then the rest of the show is just him doing random things.
Yeah, and he won't be a reliable narrator, right?
And he has to. He is the straight man, so to speak. And right, ruling out Bobby, who was the boyfriend who's cheating on her, I think it's a
Mhm.
bad sign because you could have dragged that kind of mystery, like more of a whodunit. So far, we have Jacoby.
Yeah, that's Jacoby and who else?
And no, we
Nobody
don't.
else really.
Well,
Right?
it's supposed to be anybody else, but it's not anybody else because we wrote out a main suspect.
Mhm.
But that's a minor complaint. I just thought that I would have kept it, you know,
No, yeah. I mean, if you're expecting it to have everyone be open to being
which
the
Lynch's
murderer,
original intent was to never explain who did it. So
it was
don't
just
rule.
going to
So
keep
don't
going and
rule
going and
anybody
going.
out ever,
Hmm.
except for like Pete. Pete didn't do it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I would never.
But then wasn't that his decision to do that with Bobby in this one?
Yeah, but I don't. I didn't like it.
For sure. Okay, I respect it.
Every decision, doesn't have to be great. We get Audrey and the Germans. Okay, I don't really
Yeah, that's
whatever.
what the fuck is
Just
that?
because they wanted to see more of her. David Lynch
Mhm.
definitely has a particular kind of lady he likes, and he just wanted to get more of Miss Sherilyn there, standing around being
Yeah.
pretty. That was it. And she changed her shoes again. I saw. I don't know if this is the next day or what. These Germans are there for a long time.
Mhm.
And Dale and Donna are talking. I want to talk about the metal structure in the waiting room at the sheriff's station. I'm glad they got rid of it. There's the set of doors, and there's a metal box that they have to do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Filming
Don't
around
we
it.
see? Don't we see?
We see them take it down the next
Garland Briggs in
episode.
there too.
Yeah, it's so it's
Yeah, okay, I know what you're
obstructive to
talking about,
film
yeah.
it. It's like you keep filming it, and there's a metal pole like off to the side, and it's very distracting. I see why they got rid of it.
I'm gonna
I
have
hated
to rewatch it and pay attention to that.
You can see it in the first when Lucy's talking right at the beginning. She cuts the hair, and there's like a metal pole, and it's like, ugh. And I believe in the first episode they show them taking it down.
Okay.
So there's a nice continuity there because I hated it. But
Mhm.
Donna is being interrogated, and Dale and Donna have no chemistry. I'm surprised
No.
I'm surprised they dated. They have none.
Yeah, and like she was like a nightmare for him, right?
I mean, Laura Flynn Boyle's like a nightmare for everyone in real life. I've never heard a nice thing about her. I don't know the woman personally, but I've never heard a nice thing about her from any
Yeah, I haven't heard much
anybody
about her.
talking. Jack Nicholson says she was a pain in the ass, but it's Jack Nicholson, so I don't know how reliable.
Everything's a pain in the ass for him.
Yes, he looks like that.
Yeah.
And then we get something interesting. Audrey's family. We see the dynamic with her mom and her brother. I forget his name. Johnny Horn.
Yeah, Johnny.
And Cynthia, her mom. And I love the dynamic of how shitty her life is because she's presented as kind of like a rich girl, and why is she so mean? And it's like because everything in her life.
Yeah, her
sucks.
family's way fucked up.
And Johnny, we don't see enough of. You feel bad for him because he's clearly mentally incompetent in some fashion. I'm not sure if that's the right wordage I want to use, but he's disabled in some fashion.
Yeah, mentally disabled.
She says, what does she say? He's like a fourth grader in terms of
capacity. Yeah, he's mental capacity. He's like a fourth grader, right?
And she says he's 27 or 28. I mean, he's that's been Cynthia's burden. Not to be rude, but raising someone until they're 30 is difficult. I mean, and so
very
she's
hard,
so disconnected from her daughter because she has to raise Johnny.
All her time is already used up with him,
her philandering husband, Mr. Ben Horn. I think it's a really good. I wish we saw more of her family dynamic because we don't. We just see Ben.
Missed opportunity for sure.
Yeah. We see a little bit of it in The Return, but without
a little bit. And
without
it's a really
any
ugly side of it for sure.
Oh, I hated that.
One of the worst parts of the whole series.
That was probably the most upsetting thing by a large margin. I can't even make memes about it. I think I did once, and it did not get a good reception. There was a song, I think it was like a Pixies, and it was like, "You can't keep Johnny down." And so I put the picture of Johnny laying down and put the words over it. And I thought this will work. And people were like,
no, it's still funny. Fuck them if they don't laugh.
I didn't, I don't love that either because it's fucked up.
No, it's not saying that we love it, but
no,
hey,
but it is the comedy has got to be totally open to mostly anything. And then moving into, we get hints of Laura's darker life. Then we just about, what is she into? Cocaine. Finds cocaine in her diary. Like, she's just leaving this shit laying around. And she has like
Yep.
9 or 10 diaries. Do you think she leaves just a little bit in each diary?
Sprinkles on a little bit on each one.
Each page, so she gets a little contact. We
Mhm.
get to abusive Leo with his shitty hair. We talked about that. Then we get to the town meeting hosted by one Mayor Dwayne Milford, who is my favorite of all time. He's up there.
Is this thing on?
I love him. I fucking love him, and he's great. Like, and
He's awesome.
when we
I
see him
love
in
that
season
guy.
2 fighting with his brother, oh my god, I love it.
It's
And he
great.
just
I'm
sort of
glad he
stumbles-
lived long enough after season 1 to do season 2.
I could have watched.
It looks like he's about to keel over. Yeah.
I could have watched a Dwayne Milford like scene in every episode. If they just like 5 minutes, just him. Like who was the guy at 60 Minutes? Andy Rooney had the Andy Rooney minute at the end of every episode. He would just talk
Or
about
Mickey Rooney?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
No, Mickey Rooney did not get a thing in 60 Minutes.
I don't know.
But I would do like just a minute out of every episode of just Mayor Dwayne Milford's opinion on something happening in Twin Peaks. I want that.
Okay. The 6. Okay, I got.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Instead
about
of the
now.
Log
Sorry.
Lady intros, we should have got Dwayne Milford intros.
Oh, those Log Lady intros are.
Do you
beautiful,
watch
man.
Do you watch your Log Lady intros? I'm a big proponent of the Log Lady intros.
No, I bought the Twin Peaks
The gold?
like set. No,
Yeah.
not the gold. It's like it has the return and season 1 and 2 all
Uh-huh.
together. And so I haven't seen all of them yet, but what I've
Mhm.
seen I love.
I watched.
Which I forgot about the Log Lady intros until we talked
Yeah.
about it right now. So
I-
actually, I'm gonna start make sure I watch those. with it
I
too.
did a review for this on my other channel, Daytona Micaiah. Go and check it on YouTube. And I made sure I talked about every Log Lady intro because you have to.
It's essential.
I think
Yeah.
it gives a deeper thing into the nature of David Lynch because he wrote them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you have the box set. I got the A to Z collection. What does that make?
Lucky you, dude. I want that thing.
That's not
I think it was
opened.
like cost you a few $100, right?
I don't remember. I got it when I pre-ordered it and then I never thought about it
Mhm.
again.
Nice.
I haven't opened it. I don't need to. So it's never going to remember.
You already have all the other.
I have the
stuff
gold
for it,
box
right?
and I have the first, second season in the blue boxes when they originally came out. So
Mhm.
I got it all before that.
Nice.
I watch everything on my computer. I don't have a DVD player.
Yeah, I have that box set and I have them on Vudu.
Oh, they're on Vudu too.
Yeah.
All right. Then we found out Harry is dating Josie, so she's getting she's getting it from all angles.
Yeah.
Then we go to Donna's sisters. One of them, I don't understand the inclusion of this sister because they have a different
Yeah.
sister later, and then this chick's
That
like
was,
never mentioned again. The full blossom of the evening, or whatever the fuck she is.
Yeah. Full flower, full
Full
blossom.
flower. It's
whatever
one.
the
She says
fuck
two
you
of
want.
them. I know one of them is the full blossom of the evening. The other is the full flower or whatever. I don't know. And then we go to the Roadhouse. Well, how come people can get served at the Roadhouse?
Well, what was it?
How come Donna and James can get served alcohol at the Roadhouse? Same with
I
Bobby.
don't know. It's Twin Peaks.
That just doesn't make any
Does
sense.
it?
Like I didn't.
No, there's a lot of shit.
I
that
always
doesn't make
wonder
sense in
about that. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really.
But also, with Jacques Renault working there.
The cops were there though, and like other people were there
Oh.
to see them do this. Like, I always think of it like a Hot Fuzz situation where it's like, oh, the greater good. Oh, a pint of lager won't kill them. You know what I mean? Maybe they're having a one or two at the bar, but it won't be a problem. Like that's what I kind of think of it like that. Like it's keeping them out of trouble if maybe we know where they're drinking at.
Yeah. It's like we prefer you do it here.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
not
Yes. Like someone
like that
in high
kinda.
school. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to drink,
Except in this
guys.
bar.
Yeah. I think maybe that's the smartest thing for this town to do because clearly Harry is a terrible cop.
Yeah.
And we look at like Harry's a nice guy, but rampant drug use, trafficking, human trafficking,
Mhm.
wild, just like you're fucking terrible. You're a bad cop. You're not a good cop, sir.
There's a lot of shit going on,
Yeah,
man.
you've done nothing, nothing. And there's other bad cops in it because
Lay off the weed.
Yeah, he's too high. He's sitting around eating donuts, getting high, because they have that scene coming up here with lots and lots and lots of donuts.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, I have a question about this one too. He says Lucy lays this out every night.
Every night. How many donuts do they waste?
That's not the question I have. What is when is the sheriff's department open? When do they close?
No idea.
Because Harry goes
No
home.
idea.
We see him go home. So
So
obviously
you're going to be noticing all these things that I didn't pay attention to.
well, but it's obviously they're not doing this every night because at some point he goes home. There's some point they're closed because they open in the morning.
That's a good question as to
opening.
when exactly they have the time to do that.
And so she's doing this every night before they close, like,
And they just come to stale donuts.
because this is after people were drinking at the Roadhouse. There was a fight at the Roadhouse. The big long chase scene, which we didn't talk about. This is after that.
Yeah.
So
Time.
what time is
It's a
it? It's gonna
total-
be like 11:30 at night.
Total disregard for time here. I don't know. That's a good point, actually.
Like it's got to be late because this is after school for these kids.
Mhm.
So it's after 3:30 or whenever school gets out. I assume it's the same, sort of the same at 3 o'clock. After 3 o'clock, then they went and did stuff. It's night. They went to the bar. They got chased by cops, and then they went and got donuts.
Yeah, that's
Not 7:30 in the afternoon. I'm just telling you. The big long chase scene.
I have no idea what time it is.
I hate the chase scene with Donna and the cops.
Why do you hate it?
It's so long, and I do not care about James. It's
'Cause
over
everybody
nothing.
hates
James has a
right?
locket. James has a locket that doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not important. They know Laura was banging James. He pretty much admits it to Cooper early in the episode.
Mhm.
So why is he hiding this locket? They know you guys were banging.
I don't know.
There's no like, oh, we'll hide the locket. Why? Why are you hiding this locket? And then Jacoby's following them and steals the locket. I'm not spoiling anything. We find out like the first part. Like that's who takes it.
This is
It doesn't
It's
fucking
not
matter.
really a spoiler if you're going to talk like an episode in advance. It's fine.
Jacoby takes it so he can, he's jacking off with that thing around his cock.
Absolutely.
Listen to those
It's,
weird tapes or whatever.
Tightening it into a cock ring.
He's listening to those tapes for like, because Laura was she was very sexy on those tapes. Not to put a spin on it, but you shouldn't be that sexy with your psychiatrist.
No, yeah, you can hear it when she's talking. Like
oh,
yo,
Doc.
why?
She was doing her Bugs Bunny voice. Hey, Doc, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny dressed like Laura a couple of times. The sweater and the blonde hair.
True.
Something
Yeah.
there. There's something. There's a connection.
There's a connection.
He was banging Jacoby too. We learned that Cooper is a cheapskate. They talk about
he
he
wants
a cheap. Some of these hotels they talk about a price and then they fool you around. Like, fuck you. Will you get paid? Yeah, I'm sure the FBI is paying a per diem on this, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's no way he's paying for this hotel himself. No way. I don't
No.
believe you for 1 second. That goes on his
He has
expense
high
report.
expectations.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has low expectations. He wants a cheap room cheaply. He doesn't want a nice. There's only one hotel in Twin Peaks, except for the ones that the whores hang out at, like in Fire Walk with Me. But
Mhm.
he doesn't want to go there. No. And how come Harry can get him a good rate at the Great Northern?
Yeah, why is he getting that?
He's not friends with Ben Horn. They barely talk.
Yeah. Does law enforcement get a cheap rate there?
So they turn a blind eye to all the whoring and drugs.
Yeah. Now
that
we
Ben
see
Horn is
why.
doing. There, because Ben
Now we
Horn's
see why Harry is
you
such
know,
a shitty cop.
because Ben
on
Horn's paying him off.
purpose.
Would you be surprised Ben Horn's paying him off? I wouldn't be. He pays off everybody else.
Yeah, I'm sure he's attempted to at least.
I think maybe he's not actively paying him off, but he's paying him off in doing things for the department.
Mhm, pulling strings here and
Yeah.
there and
Hey, you guys
Yeah.
look like you need a new cruiser.
giving them the
Look,
funding they need for a lot of shit.
Like, because they can't be getting funded well by the by the state of Washington. for this
Absolutely not.
place. And they have a number of cops that work there. It's not just 3 cops. There's 6 or 7 cops that actually work there
Yeah,
full time.
yeah. Who knows where their funding comes from?
Just seems a bit odd to me, And if
Mm-hmm.
I was Harry, I would be playing Catherine and Harry or Catherine and Ben off each other to get more funding.
Mhm.
We're like, hey, it looks like Packard Mill is two inches over the county line. You know what I mean? I'd be doing some shit. I'd be getting some money out of them.
Some fuckery.
And then we see Bob for the first time in the mirror on accident. Do you buy that story? Do you believe that story? It was on accident.
Yeah, why not?
I believe it too. I just didn't. I don't know.
Okay. You made me
I don't
think that
have a
you're like-
counterpoint to that. I was just genuinely curious because it almost seems like that's stupid.
that someone would be making it up.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
that's a big mistake to make for your television show.
That he was just standing where he wasn't supposed to be, or something
Like
like that.
especially there because it wasn't like a sound guy.
He was he laid out the room, didn't he?
Why would he
Wasn't
be?
a
Why would he
set
be?
designer?
Why would he be there?
He was a set designer, wasn't he?
Okay, set designers don't hang out on set. The set's
I don't know.
designed. Do your scene. What was he designing? The shot was 2 seconds. She
I don't
someone
know.
goes, oh, and then it cuts to black. Like, what do you mean? set
Was
design?
that the shot they used when they saw that he was in the shot? Was
That's
the-
what I presumed. You think they reshot it? And
I don't know.
I've never
Because I mean,
heard,
it's just too perfect. I mean,
I've never heard any other story, but we got it, and that was the shot. But you make a good point. It maybe they liked it and then
like,
reshot.
oh, that works. That works. Let's do something with that.
I don't know. One of
Yeah,
those things.
but
I
I'm
never-
glad they did. I'm glad they went with
Oh,
that because
my
it
God.
is fucking terrifying.
You
dude.
couldn't have picked a better. You couldn't have picked a better guy. And that we were talking about wholesome earlier. Some guy gave her grief because she posted a thing about helping about with AIDS. We all know Frank Silva died. He died of AIDS, and
Yeah.
someone was like, "He's not a homosexual."
Oh, that.
Guess he
what?
was. He was a homosexual. But
But
even
even
if
so,
he
like-
wasn't, people can get help with AIDS that aren't homosexual.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
they were like, well, the place that you sent us to was mostly gay people. I said, well, AIDS is a big problem in the gay community. So they
Mhm.
probably cater towards that first. I'm sure if I went there and was like, hey, I'm a straight guy, but I have AIDS, they wouldn't be like, no, like that's not the point.
No.
They're just showing
Yeah,
that
no, that's-
a lot of the people that they help are in the LGBTQ realm. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
And
not at all.
but even on top of that, he was a gay man. Like,
Yeah, I heard that too. I read that
I mean,
somewhere.
I never had sex with him myself. I have to prove it. I've heard that.
Are you bummed out about that?
I don't know. I don't know. Everybody that has sex with Bob seems to be enjoying themselves. I'm just saying what I'm saying. How much of that was Leland? How much of that was Bob? I don't know.
He's fun.
Leland looks like he's hanging brain. He looks like he's got a little furry guy down there. He's probably,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
He's
think you're right.
he's sort of a thick neck. You know what I mean? Here to talk about Leland Palmer's penis, everybody. If you wanted to hear about it, I think that he's ample.
It's a safe assumption.
It's a safe assumption, yeah. Okay, so who stands out the most to you in this episode? Give me 3 people you like that really stood out, not Cooper.
Not Cooper. Okay, you just made it a lot harder. Sarah Palmer,
Sarah Palmer.
of course, because just she's setting you up right there with just getting you comfortable with that grief. And that's the thing, what this episode does, where it really lays it out for you, is that you have to learn to get comfortable with people showing their emotions and people openly showing grief,
And her and Andy
it's
sort of
you
back
got to
to back.
learn to respect that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Her and Andy do it like back to back too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That I would say Andy is actually would be the second one who made the biggest impression on me, probably for the same reasons that he made the big impression on you.
Yeah.
So same thing, because I related to him the most, I feel. And aside from that, I would say Bobby, because
Yeah.
Bobby, just because
Oh,
the
he-
overacting
He carries
is done so well.
He carries the episode. I'm telling you that right now. He is in the
He
bulk
does.
of the scenes more than anybody else in the entire thing. And I think I think he does a hell of a job.
Definitely. And like it's for sure overacting with a lot of his stuff, but it's done so well.
He's got a lot of swag in this. He's got a lot of he's rolling into school late because you know what I mean. He's
skipping into the
cool.
office.
Yeah, I kind of like. I agree with the Bobby one. Bobby stands out to me right off the bat as having a lot of
Absolutely.
personality. He's a classic Lynch character. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
He
definitely.
feels like he could have been in Blue Velvet. You know what I mean?
Totally.
As
Totally like a friend of
one of the high school guys or whatever that he's.
Yeah.
Laura Dern's dating or something like that.
Yeah, the football player.
Audrey, I say too, just because everything, I don't know, she's sort of
Yes.
useless in this episode, but she's super compelling. Like I could have
You
just
know,
watched her do
that's
nothing.
that's what I've noticed about her. That's one thing I'm looking forward to on this rewatch of Twin Peaks for this podcast is I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to Audrey this time.
You weren't paying attention to her
And
before?
I don't think I, I missed what everybody else really loves about her so much.
Yeah.
So I think it just didn't click with me so much.
She's the female Bobby. She's the bad. Yeah, she's the bad girl but there's something else. You know what I mean? She's got a lot.
So I'm gonna go into it more with that thought in my head.
She's a compelling. I think you could see right over the family dynamic. They're going for a lot with her here. There's a lot that they're not saying.
I gotta mention one thing when they're taking roll in class and she does the quotes here.
Yeah.
When you take the show in as a whole and then see that again, that's I don't know. What does she mean? Like, is she?
But she is there. She is there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just but like I'm like the whole doppelganger and tulpa element. You know.
Do you think that they're?
I take some liberties. I take some liberties with my thoughts on the possibilities of what happens in this show, and I get really fucking silly with some of the.
You think that Audrey was a tulpa from episode pilot?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say she does this.
You just said it.
I'm not gonna say that.
We never see the real Audrey until that one scene in The Return. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, sure.
Billy Zane. Whenever Diane was the top one, I'm gonna spoil this because it doesn't matter. They got a kiss from Cooper, brought her back. Do you think Billy Zane on the plane when he deflowered her, he didn't kiss her?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Kiss. To a pretty woman, yeah.
Because if I'm just saying, okay, so if kissing does it and no one's kissed Audrey, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what kind of guy Billy Zane is, but I hope he'd at least kiss her on the mouth.
I don't know,
but
man.
Maybe not.
Phantom.
Maybe not. Yeah, I love the Phantom. Hey, I like the Phantom movie, man.
I love it. That's nostalgia for me right there. So
I
love that movie.
That movie I'm a big fan of, like, the comic strip, and I'm a big fan of the movie for no reason, because it's a terrible movie.
It is a terrible movie,
but it's so damn entertaining. Treat Williams in that is just like chewing on the scenery, and he's like, "I'm a bad guy."
I don't know why Billy Zane just amuses me.
Demon Knight with him as well.
I've never seen Demon Knight.
Oh, yeah, he's looking for Jesus's blood, and he's like Satan, and it's fucking. I'm like, this is the best.
Is this bald Billy Zane, or
it's bald? This is bald, big bald Billy Zane.
Nice.
And he's like Satan, and he's a demon, and he's looking for the blood of Jesus. And I was like, damn, this is hard. This is a good movie. It's not.
He was absolutely a part of my childhood, though, man, because you had Titanic and you had
Phantom. I can't. He was in other stuff that I remember seeing him in. And I was just like, I really like Billy Zane.
I know I've seen him in a lot of other stuff. I just don't remember what.
He's not a good actor, but I love him. He's particularly bad in Twin Peaks. He's particularly offensive, and I'm offended by his character in this show because he's a sex pest.
A what?
He's a sex pest.
What is that? He
pressures Audrey for sex in every scene that he's in. Every scene.
So you're saying sex pest?
Pest, yeah. He should be on a registry, a registrar.
Okay.
You know, gotcha. He's not allowed within 50 feet of a schoolyard, much like Seinfeld Peaks. Putting that out there for his dad podcast.
Sorry, Seinfeld Peaks.
Important takeaways. I also want to point out log formations has really thin hair.
And what's the other thing? Wholesome Peaks is
she got gout,
Holocaust
and she's a Holocaust tonight. I think the gout is from the Holocaust tonight because she's not eating kosher.
It's karma.
Come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Those chicken livers ain't gonna be too good for you. Get some gefilte fish. Okay, Lynch TV versus movies. Let's talk about Just brief.
Wait,
I don't
wait,
want to
wait,
get into
what were your characters? You said Audrey.
Audrey, Bobby. Did I not say a third one?
Okay, no, you said Bobby. No, I don't think you said a third one. What was the third one?
Catherine really
Catherine. Okay, cool.
knocked it
Yeah.
out of the park for me. I don't remember liking her this much the past
Mhm.
8 times I've seen it, but watching this, man, she's fierce. She's scary. I get why
She
Pete.
is.
I get why Pete is drawn to her. You know what I mean? She's a powerful
Mhm.
woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very sexy.
Pete can somehow like manage to calm that fire a little bit to
Yeah,
like
he
get to his
he
senses side a little bit.
tempers her. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
in reward, he gets a treat. You know,
Definitely.
that's all.
Yeah, good call on that.
I
Good
can't
call.
think
So
of- I
Audrey,
can't-
Catherine, and
and
Bobby.
I
Cool.
think we would definitely agree on Bobby. Has a special note, Dwayne Milford. Gets
Okay,
all
yeah.
my love. All my love.
Yeah, special note for me too, of course, Pete. Yeah.
Oh,
I would say if Andy wasn't in there, I would say Pete would be
I
in
think
there.
Pete
probably.
is like the face of Twin Peaks, in my opinion. Like
That's a good call.
almost for me, like every important thing that happens, Pete's there in the periphery. He's doing something. You know what I
He
mean?
is Twin Peaks. He's like the classic
Yeah.
Twin Peaks guy.
Well, he's Henry. You know, he's Eraserhead Henry. He's like
Yes.
he's the proto Twin Peaks.
Absolutely. Good call.
So David Lynch, movies versus TV. Which one do you think he has a better grasp on as a director, as his concepts being laid out, as just do you prefer him be long-winded like Twin Peaks, or do you like a 2-hour jaunt with him if you had to pick?
I guess it depends on my mood, really. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think his work would be what it is now as a whole without the TV element.
Yeah.
Just with the film too. But I would say I think he has a better grasp on the film.
He can be a bit long-winded as the return shows us.
But I love that too, though, and it's an equal amount that I love that. I don't think I like his films more than Twin Peaks. The Return is like one of the most amazing pieces of art that I've ever seen.
I think The Return is incredible. It does have those moments of just incredible, frustrating, like stupidity that could have been left out. That aren't even.
Do you think it purposely builds expectation to let you down at times?
I don't. I don't think it's intentional.
Okay, I don't think that either.
I think it's just bad.
I know other people feel that.
I think it's
too.
just bad script writing, and it's just bad directing, and it's just bad.
I don't think it's bad. That's the thing. I don't think it's bad. I think it's what it is. It's just.
But some of it's objectively bad. Like whether you like it or not, some of it is objectively like poorly done.
One thing that's going to be hard to get out of me is like saying that something's. I suppose I'm going to say more often that something is good than something is bad, but it's not often I say something's bad really, because I'm trying to look at more. It's something that Lynch said. He said he wants to make pictures that paintings that move, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all of the stuff that he makes as a painting. It's that everything's just going to be.
There's plenty of shitty paintings out there.
Yeah, I know you have a good point there too.
Plenty of people that are great painters make shitty paintings. You know what I mean? Like look at what's the one with the fucking the broad smile and everybody's like has a beautiful smile and
Mona Lisa.
I can think of Mona Lisa. It's a terrible painting. It's a terrible, boring, unfinished painting. It's not a good painting. It's not a good painting. So. It's objective. He didn't think it was good because he didn't finish it.
I know, but I would say that in that regard, like David Lynch is a skilled painter, though. He doesn't do bad paintings.
But he does plenty of bad paintings. Did you ever see his other TV show about the radio? It was terrible.
No. What's that?
He did a sitcom style, and the episodes were on YouTube. I have them downloaded.
You told me about this in one of our very first conversations.
It was
long time ago, actually.
Something on the radio or something like that. It was terrible. It was really bad. That's not
okay.
I'm not bashing Lynch. I'm using him as I like to look at him in perspective. People too often want to give him carte blanche for anything he does has got to be art. But sometimes stuff it's just bad. Sometimes it's just crap. Sometimes it's just what it is.
That's okay. Yeah, that's good to think that.
Yeah.
To see it as that. Yeah.
It doesn't lower him as a director or a person. Everybody sometimes does shit that just doesn't land.
Yeah, I mean, I'll really to be considered a good director, you just got to do that one good movie, I would say, right? I mean, you nailed it once.
I don't know, because is M. Night Shyamalan a good? Would you call him a great director?
Again, I don't know enough about directors and their styles to
Because
make a judgment on that.
objectively, as a director, M. Night Shyamalan's a really good director. His directing is really good. His movies suck.
Okay, I see
Like
what you mean.
his eye, his understanding of a scene, his able to let things land and move, like how he paces stuff. He's a great director. He's got a great eye. He can't. His stuff that he makes is bad. So
Gotcha.
I look at
Okay.
Lynch as like the opposite of that. Is he's not a very good director, but he has a great eye and a great sense of art.
His directing is very experimental,
It's
right?
it's almost borderline amateur more than experimental. Experimental is a nice way of saying he's not a great director. He understands basic filmography and directing, and he can do funny things with it that are interesting. But as a directing style, it's very pedestrian. It's very amateur, and it works for him because that's what he's kind of going for, a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
He's more got a better sense of art in a scene than he does actually like directing. He's good with actors, though. We've heard him.
Yeah, he has a good relationship with his actors for sure. I've heard that.
I don't know if it hinders him as a director, even because how many great directors have terrible relationships with their actors? Hear that they're tyrants.
I think a lot, right?
James Cameron, Alfred Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick. You hear these guys are monsters.
Yeah, you hear horror stories about that.
And that's horrible, But I don't know how much of it. Hitchcock famously said that the actors don't matter.
Oh, wow.
He said, I write the scripts, or I have the scripts. I'm the director. They're just people that I put in place. And I see some merit to what he's saying as a director. Like, I get it. I disagree, but I get what he's saying. They're just there to make his vision real. They're not there to have an opinion.
That's what they're getting paid for, right? I mean,
I guess. I think
carry out his vision.
I think that's a harsh way to do it, though.
No, it is harsh. It is, but you got to be able to understand where someone's coming from too.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's right.
No, but I think there's something to be said for art coming from pain. You know what I mean? Can you turn suffering into something worth a damn? And with them, yeah, Lynch has a different approach, and I respect his approach with actors.
Yeah,
very nice, very calm, very polite, very understanding,
casual, right?
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan famously says that he doesn't really give you a lot of direction. He's just kind of like, okay.
He sees what you're gonna do when like he can see you doing a lot when he's writing a script out for you, right? I mean, he has something in mind. He wants a whole vibe to be carried out.
Because of his meticulous casting, I would say that yes. Because of how weird he is about casting people, I would say that he has certain expectations when he's writing somebody's lines. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't you love to see Nick Cage in another Lynch movie again?
I would love to see Nick Cage do anything with David Lynch.
It's be amazing.
He should have showed up in The Return as a different character. Or maybe he'll show up in Unrecorded Night or Wisteria, which is never.
Whatever the fuck is going on with that.
I don't know. Yeah. Netflix dropped it, but they also dropped David Cronenberg's miniseries as well.
I didn't even know he had a miniseries coming out.
Well, neither did David Cronenberg, apparently, because it got dropped. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're making crap because Netflix original shows suck to me. They suck.
Yeah, they're few and far between. I know.
I dropped Netflix after the Cuties debacle. I refused to give them money.
Oh yeah, that was a whole weird thing, right?
I try to not fund pederasty as much as I possibly can.
That's very respectable,
though. I just think that it was gross. And people were like defending it. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. People were like defending it. Like, well, they had people on set to talk the kids through the scenes. Hire an 18-year-old. Just hire an 18-year-old. Tell her to play 12. You don't need to hire 12-year-olds. That's
the whole thing seemed pretty weird with that cutie thing.
Well, the French are disgusting. We talked about this last time. I having watched French TV and cinema, I now hate the French. Everything I've watched has been fucking terrible.
Netflix has good comedy though. I mean, there's a lot of shitty specials on
no,
there.
They're the new HBO comedy special people.
Yeah.
That may,
But you know what?
that may change.
That yeah, that's probably gonna change. But no, right now the thing to do, I think people will drop in their special on YouTube if they're marketing themselves correctly on their social media.
That's smart.
They're dropping their special for free on YouTube. You got Mark Norman doing it. You got Sam Morril.
Mark Norman's funny too.
Oh, he's amazing.
That
Dude.
guy's fucking
Shane Gillis, his special.
you turned me on to him, man. He was killing it. I really liked. He's self-deprecating. He's got a lot of he just nails it. You know, I never heard of him. I guess he was on Saturday Night Live for a hot minute.
He for
Quite
a
literally
quick second,
a
then
minute.
he got fired for like a problematic thing he said on a podcast, I think, and it
God, I hope I never
I
get a
don't
job
know.
on Saturday Night Live. What are they going to hear me say?
Jesus, yeah, for real. But no, I think it worked out good for him because that got him some attention, and now he dropped a special, and it's amazing. His special's hilarious.
What did they say? There's no news that's not good news. Do you know what I mean? For people, any
Works
publicity is
out
good
in some
publicity.
certain way.
Good for him. He's actually, you turned me on to him. He's fucking, at first I was like, I don't know, because I'm weird. But everybody you've shown me has been funny, even a couple of funny broads.
Yeah, Christina P for sure
That's not a thing.
hilarious.
I don't find a lot of comedians, and so it's even harder to find female comedians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're out there. There's a lot of good female comedians.
Everyone
Do you want to know another good one?
Yeah.
Miss Pat. If you've ever heard of Miss, yeah, sure. I'm just gonna say YouTube Miss Pat and find her bits, and the dude, oh my god, she's incredible.
I watch depressing things all day, every day, instead of or stuff that I review. I don't watch funny stuff. I'm not.
You got to balance it out somehow.
I run a meme page where I make nothing but comedy memes, and I don't watch anything.
You provide your own comedy.
I don't watch anything funny. I watch like whatever depressing Russian film I can find. This is 3.5 hours of people hating themselves. Oh, I'll watch that. And then somebody's like, well, watch this 15-minute clip of a comedian. I'm like, that's a long time to invest in it.
If it wasn't for my lady, I probably would be watching I would fall into the habit of just watching always depressing shit all the
time. Or I just put on YouTube and just put like garbage, whatever. There's a lot of good content on YouTube. There's a lot of good creators that put out a lot of good free stuff.
It's you gotta be willing to find that though. It's like the people who are lost in the thought that there's no good music out there. There's good music out there right now.
There's I'm a big
a lot of good new music.
EDM fan. I think you're like it enough as well.
Yeah, so I like electronic music.
I just go on and I just find like this person, go on like there's there's not their page where they have their albums. Yeah, so I just click on like 10 people until I find something I like.
Yeah, there you go.
I love ambient noise. We were talking about, I got into Nigerian hyperpop.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I'm not even kidding. It's really
awesome.
good. There was not I was in Tennessee, and the guy in my Uber was Nigerian, and he was listening to this hyperpop, Nigerian hyperpop, and some Nigerian like R&B or rap or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's Nigerian. He kind of wrote down a couple of names for me, and I've been on a African dream pop kick for a little bit. I couldn't tell you anybody's name because it's just really fun. But like if you're looking for, there's also world music. People forget there's other places in the world that make cool music. It's not all Canada,
Yeah. But then at the end of the day, I always go back to Angelo Badalamenti.
Oh, I mean, I like how you say it with an accent.
Badalamenti.
Badalamenti. Manja. Abbondanza. I knew you were going to do that too. I could see it in your eyes. You got a glint before you said it.
The little pause, yeah. But yeah.
Very talented.
Back to Twin Peaks.
Okay. What would you change if you could change anything? Would there be anything you would change? Do you think this is tight? Do you think there's anything you would just tweak or?
With my general philosophy on these kind of things is that I can't change anything, otherwise it wouldn't be what I like.
I would change the James stuff.
By killing him.
I would cut it. I would cut the James stuff out of the show.
Cut him completely.
He's a character that becomes totally useless. Having a second boyfriend would have been important if it went anywhere.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, but no, I mean, also everybody hates James too. I hate Donna too. I don't mind them.
I
I just it's fun to make fun of James. So like
I
it's
hate James.
easy
I'd
to
get rid
make
of
fun of
James.
James too.
I'd get rid
So
of. I would change Donna to a dog or something that Laura had that's really sad, and that no one would even notice the difference. Sad dog. Oh, okay, dog sad. We could get just shots of the
fine.
dog being sad.
I'll give James the time of day. I'll hang out with him for a quick
I'm not
cup
fucking
of
hanging out with that
coffee
annoying
or
piece of shit. He's gonna make you pay for the coffee. He ain't got no damn money.
can you pay for my coffee? I left my
Yeah,
wallet at home.
he ain't got no wallet. He would have it on that chain attached to his thing. He rides a bike. I never seen him with a chain.
Just I wrote a pretty stupid note. I mean, I don't think you're gonna agree with me at all. But I
We
mean
don't have to
his
agree.
no, it's
That's the
okay.
point.
But his acting, James Marshall's acting on in the scene where there was a quick 30 seconds where like his acting I thought was pretty fucking good when he was talking to Donna right before the moments before they kissed and everything. When he was
Oh,
just
when they're
telling about the night.
they're burying the thing.
Yeah, when he's talking about the night before and how Laura was acting, his
No,
acting was. I want to give him credit for that. It was reasonable.
there is
It was good.
there's a couple of scenes, and particularly in Fire Walk with Me,
Mhm.
where he nails it. And it's that same scene he's talking about. Because in the scene in the movie, he does a really good job.
Mhm. Yeah, he does.
And but it's always about that one scene. Like he only could get his head around one scene.
Mhm.
He understood what happened the night with Laura, and he hasn't understood anything else since. And you're right. I actually agree with you on that one. Yeah, he did a hell of a job. He's very passionate there, very emotional.
Yeah, like he was like genuinely concerned and heartbroken about it. You know,
Someone
he
punched him in the
felt that
stomach beforehand, so yeah, he was
a little
sad.
bit. Yeah, but then they had to do the whole. I changed my mind. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, it was
And then
terrible.
kissed her again.
That was
Yeah.
get on my bike and ride. And I know they based him off of James Dean and everything like that, like quite
Tried
obvious.
to. They really tried to,
but he
fucking failed.
he doesn't have half the charisma, nor talent, nor
Yeah.
the character is not half as compelling as anything James Dean was, even in life.
He's not nearly as rooting as he needs to be.
No.
No.
If he played it more like James Dean, which James Dean, I think, given perspective on that, he was a closet homosexual during his life, and that's why he played tortured so well. No, he was. He was known to be a homosexual.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's
It was known. It was just he was in the closet because he was, he couldn't go out back then,
Mhm.
like Rock Hudson, and I think that was part of the pain is that he couldn't be his self.
That's sad to think about.
Yeah, and if James could think about being a good actor and knowing he could never do it, maybe that would come through better. I'm going to do a movie with Naomi Watts about an evil elevator is where his career is going to go, because it did. Do you see that?
No, what was that? What was
I
that?
don't know. It was him and I think it was Naomi Watts, and it was about an elevator that was quite evil.
Oh, was it? Oh, that movie Devil? He was in that?
No, that was years later.
Oh,
this was like 2004. And Naomi Watts, this is pre Mulholland Drive.
It sounds straight to DVD.
I don't know where I probably rented it or something. I used to get that, like, find bad movies, like, I gotta watch this. And he's an elevator repairman, and the elevator is quite evil.
Quite evil.
Quite evil. I mean, I guess.
Okay.
Elevator. A fucking elevator.
Sounds good, man.
Takes you to the wrong floor. Oh my god! Like, what do you? It's like
it closes as people are trying to walk into getting into
but
it.
like maybe show like an elevator. Like an elevator would take a while to kill you because it's just like padding and it goes real slow. Like a falling elevator, that's scary, but like an evil elevator, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound that scary to me.
I don't need to see that.
Well, that's all for Twin Peaks. We're gonna have a little conversation after that. Is this okay? We'll have a little bit just a general riff. I got a wound. I woke up today and I have a wound on my stomach, like about this.
A wound?
Yeah, like a bruise.
Why?
Where the fuck is this bruise from? And my daughter Ava, it's the size of her foot. She kicked me in the stomach repeatedly while I was sleeping. Because I have a bed. I got her a bedroom. Like, she has a bedroom in the other room, but she likes to sleep with me because she's 2. And
Of course, yeah.
I'm like, honey, you want to go to your bed? She's like, no, I want to sleep with dad. And I'm like, cool. I'm not gonna say no. I love sleeping with her. She's my little buddy.
Of course, yeah.
And she kicks me. She's a little fucking bitch though. She's so mean. She gouged my eye the other day. She kicks me in the stomach.
Dude, my son is rough with me like that too. He's just pulling on my hair and yeah, he likes to, as you're laying down, he likes to jump on you.
Oh my god, that's
jump
the
on your
worst.
tummy and everything. And yeah.
Hop on pop ruined the generation of children.
Yep.
Dads all over the world have bruised ribs thanks to Mr.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I understand your pain with that.
Well,
but
she's
no,
a little...
good.
Good.
No, I was gonna say waking up to a bruise that size of her little foot. That sounds painful.
It's like right under my rib. So it's really strange spot. She's a little girl, so she has a brother, so she fights like mean. She gouges eyes and she bites. She kicks groins and I'm like, fucking Jesus.
She's adorable.
Have you seen any new movies recently?
Yeah, dude. I saw one of your favorite movies, Videodrome.
Videodrome.
Yeah.
We're doing Video Peaks over on our Instagram. It is Videodrome and Twin Peaks together at last for the first time. David Cronenberg Lynch. Did you say I put that on the poster? David Cronenberg Lynch.
I gotta see that.
You always gotta look
posters
at the bottom
because you always have a little some stuff sprinkled in there, and I'm like, oh shit.
I put ours. I put DemonPeaks and GothPeaks present Video Peaks by David Lynch.
I saw that. I think I missed the Cronenberg and Lynch thing.
I put it was James Woods, Kyle MacLachlan, and I didn't put like people's names and say fuck them like I did the one time.
Oh yeah. It's man, that's hard to keep up when you're always like tagging all the Peaks accounts.
I do it when I'm drunk.
Community posts.
I do it when I'm.
When you're drunk and you're just like, I love you guys.
Have you not noticed they only come out at like 5 a.m.? You'll be like,
I noticed that.
That's it.
I'll
get like an idea at like 3:30, and I'm like, yeah, this is a really good idea. Everybody's at the Last Supper. And I remember I made the Last Supper one, and everybody was sitting there.
I love that one. Yeah, that's great.
Like it's just stuff like that where I don't know what the fuck I did the horror one for this month. I forgot I did that one.
That one was really good.
You were Pinhead, right?
I was Pinhead. Yeah, I was really happy about that too.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's one of the few horror movies I watched.
That was the perfect one for you. I was like, this got to be.
It had to be that one. I love that movie too. But no, yeah, dude.
Videodrome. What do you think of that?
I love Videodrome. I love it, dude. I haven't seen too many Cronenberg movies, but
that's the best one.
It's so good, dude. And Debbie Harry. You can't go wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, Videodrome, I thought it was cool, man, because it gave me that kind of B movie horror feel, but also, there was good quality in that too.
Oh, the visual effects. Oh my god, with his stomach vagina.
Oh god, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching that.
So I heard an interpretation for this one time, and I don't agree with it, but I thought it was great. Videodrome is about masturbation. He's sitting in front of the TV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With his gun. I sort of buy it. Like it's a very sexual. It's about the dangers of masturbation and pornography. And you know what? I could buy that.
And the addictions to it, yeah.
Well, it is a bad. No fooling. But pornography addiction is bad in this country.
It's real.
People fucking. It's terrible. These young men don't know what they're getting into, and the chemicals. Think about coming. You're releasing dopamine. You're getting this thing, and then you're seeing these violent images of women being degraded and hurt. And what are you going to think about?
You start to think that's normal too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I'm a big anti-pornography person. I think people are probably surprised to hear that, but not for me. Thank you.
For sure. No, I respect that. I totally respect your view on that.
But absolutely. I could see that as
I'm not against pornography really, but I mean
I'm not here to change anybody's opinion on it. I personally find it to be, that's my own. I find it to be abhorrent, but that's just my personal opinion.
That's okay.
But I could see that as a. I don't know that I buy that as the Videodrome interpretation, but I could see it.
It's a fun take on it for sure.
Especially James Woods' character is the only one affected by it because he's the only one watching it. The other guy actively isn't watching it. Remember? I never
He's just
looked
like,
at
yeah,
it.
I'm not watching that shit.
He never saw it. He didn't look at the pornography like James Woods did.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Debbie Harry becomes reduced from a real woman down to a thing on the TV. I don't know.
Oh,
There's something.
yeah,
there's
that's
something there that I never really thought about until I
I
read
think
someone
I
else
think
talking about
that that interpretation is gonna be stuck with me now.
it. Oh,
So,
your video's gone. There you
oh,
are.
there we
Yeah,
go.
it was different. I don't know how I feel about it, but I kind of it's a great movie. Visually,
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
I didn't. The one thing I didn't like about it was that it turns out it's a guy at a glasses store and he goes to the glasses like extravaganza to kill the guy.
Oh yeah.
The sunglasses extravaganza. The guy's at the evil guy in the movie. It runs a sunglass hut. Like
That's some evil shit
he
right
runs
there.
a string
Man.
of sunglass huts. You would never think it was him. Like if it was, there had to be someone better, government or something like that. No, it was a guy literally runs a sunglass like store.
Dude, ever since watching it, I can't stop saying "Death to Videodrome, long live the new flesh."
I used to have on my old MySpace, there was a picture of me and painted in blood. It said "Long live the new flesh." And it was my blood that I
Nice.
did it because I was super edgy. Super edgy.
Yeah. 9 Inch Nails for sure got the name of that song. New
Oh,
Flesh,
yeah.
from that. The
I'm
B
pretty,
side off the Fragile.
I'm pretty sure Trent is inspired by a lot of horror stuff.
Absolutely.
He's not quite
Yeah.
as like Misfits, Return of the Fly, but
No, he's
still,
not more of the. He likes more of the poppy electronic side of the
yeah,
the goth
yeah.
shit.
I just meant in terms of like naming stuff, he's not quite as blatant.
No, yeah.
Um,
What about you? What's some other what's a movie you saw recently?
for my show, I watched the Cornetto trilogy, which was fine. We talked about that. In American Werewolf in London, which we talked about that. I watched Phantasm, the first one.
Nice. There's like 5 of those,
There's
right?
like 5. They're fucking stupid. I love them, but they're terrible movies.
Oh yeah.
They're like the
A lot
worst.
of horror movies are that way.
These are like the best worst horror movies because most of the time though in bad horror movies you understand what's going on in the plot.
Mhm.
I watched Phantasm again and it's been a while and I was like, what the fuck is happening in this film? What's the plot? There's no plot. Big guy comes, pretends to be a woman, sucks a bunch of cocks and kills dudes and then shrinks them down. What? That can't be your plot. Because it's revealed
I don't remember it too much.
The tall man was, Angus Scrimm was the guy, the woman killing people. So he's out there sucking.
Mhm.
We see him sucking cock earlier. So Angus
I gotta
Scrimm
rewatch
sucking,
those. I haven't. It's been a good minute since I've seen those movies.
I saw Noori the Curse. Once again, I'm reviewing that for my show, which is a really
Nice.
underrated Japanese. It's a Japanese found footage documentary.
Oh, nice.
It's a documentary based on found footage, but it's a fake documentary.
Okay, so it's like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
It's
but
going.
there's layers. It's interesting because it's a documentary based on found footage about a documentary
Nice.
about a guy who makes documentaries. It's about this curse, but like they interlace like interviews and there's like stuff from different programs, like day programs. There's a lot going on in it, and it's low budget, but they managed to really get everything they can out of that low budget.
Nice.
I would recommend it if you like Japanese horror. It's a underrated.
I do like. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Japanese horror, but I know I've seen the original Grudge movie, like the Ju-on. I think it's called. Ju-on.
Yeah, I
Those
didn't.
are great.
Ju-on is one that the franchise that I couldn't get into.
No,
I couldn't. I appreciate the first one. I just couldn't. Like, I didn't. Something about it didn't do anything for me.
yeah, I know. I remember it really scared me, but I don't know if I would have the same opinion if I saw these
Scary
movies now.
kids aren't scary to me.
Really?
I will fucking punch a kid in the fucking face. Like, I'm not scared of a little kid. Like, if I saw a little like naked kid like right here, right now, I'd just punch him. Like, what are you gonna do?
Then what if that doesn't work?
Then I'll stab him or shoot him. It's a fucking kid.
What if nothing works?
Then he can live in the garage. What the
You're
fuck do you want me to
dead.
tell you?
You're dead.
I'm not
You're
scared
dead.
of little
It's gonna
kids. I'm
kill
not
you.
scared of
You're
little
dead.
kids.
You're dead.
It's like Chucky. They're like, oh, I'm scared of Chucky. Chucky's a doll. If a doll came out with a knife, I would get a knife because I'm a full grown human being. Like,
That new series is supposed to be pretty good. The
I'm
new
not
Chucky series.
gonna watch that.
No, I like Jennifer Tilly.
I guarantee it's garbage. I guarantee it's garbage.
Probably is. It's probably just entertaining.
I've never been a big Chucky fan. I couldn't get into it. I don't get it.
They're fun.
I'm not
They're
scared.
just fun.
Dolls are another thing I'm not scared of. Like people are like, oh, scary doll. It's a fucking doll. Throw it in a fire. Oh, what if the doll comes back? Then it's a doll. Put it in a trunk.
They're just fun movies. They're not necessarily scary.
I know they're fun. Like I like, there's the old Twilight Zone about the Ventureless Dummy. I love that and stuff like. I like some of it. I'm just not scared of it because I'm not scared of a doll. I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like it's a demon. Can you imagine being a demon and you come down and possess a fucking doll? How stupid are you?
Of all things, of all
7
things,
billion
right?
people in the world, and you come and fucking whales the size of 80 people, and you're a doll. You're fucking retarded. Like you're never gonna get a promotion in hell. What's your assignment today? I'm a doll today. Satan. Oh fuck, you must suck. Like get the fuck out of here.
What's another thing I watched recently? Dead Don't Die. I watched that for the first time.
I like that. Jim Jarmuth.
Yeah, I love Jim Jarmuth.
I just posted a meme with him in it. That the my sling peaks with him. He's the guy taking the order for food.
Oh yeah, see, I haven't seen Sling Blade.
He's in it. He's only in that one scene, but he's in it. I mean, it's something. I like Jim Jarmuth. He's underrated.
I did the Peaks Don't Peak today.
I saw it. I love that.
The Dead Don't Die in Twin Peaks.
And he puts Tom Waits in his stuff, and no one else puts Tom Waits in his stuff. And I love Tom Waits. So,
well, dude, him and John Laurie, the stuff they did. I mean, Stranger Than Paradise and Down by Law. I haven't seen Permanent Vacation yet, but there's those too.
Yeah, John Laurie. He's the guy.
Dude, I'm reading his book right now.
You didn't know he had a second series, if I recall, right? The painting.
No, I wasn't aware of the first series.
Fishing with
Painting with John was my first.
Okay. I remember we were talking about, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, and then because the way it happened was because we were doing the Tom Waits week.
Yeah.
Or you were doing the Tom Waits week.
Yeah.
And Mullet Peaks sent you
the thing with the chicken fish.
Thing. It was Tom Waits. I'm like, what?
Fishing
chicken fish.
It's a chicken. Catch them chicken. We get them in Chicago. We get them chicken fish.
And I was like, what is that from? And you said Fishing with John. I'm like, huh? Is that like? Did this guy do Painting with John? And then you tell me, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
And I watched Painting with John.
That's when I found it out.
They're all amazing. The man could do any. I don't know why he has to have a theme like painting or fishing. It could just be John.
The dude's a true artist, man. I'm reading his book right now.
What's his book?
It's called. It's just a memoir. It's called The History of Bones.
It's called Booking with John.
Booking with John.
Writing with John.
Booking with John.
It's good.
It's great, man. It's talking about the New York art scene, from the 70s and 80s, and just his time with. He's an artist, man. He's experimenting with a bunch of different art styles, and then he finds the lounge lizards and not finds, but like he finds them because they're not nobody else finds them. Yeah, dude, and he's really authentic, and I like his I like the way he wrote the book too. It's really cool.
He's got no bullshit. The guy's there. What you see is what you get. I love.
He's a very genuine human being. Yeah,
I would love to see him more involved in things that I like. Obviously, just because I don't get a chance to see his world that often. I'm not in the art world. I don't have.
What? And I think because right now my mind feels so art oriented or like art appreciative, I guess you would say. It's making me appreciate that book a lot more.
That's good. You're in the right
giving you an insight. Because dude, the painter, I don't know how to say his name, Basquiat, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Yeah, dude. Yeah. He lived on John Laurie's like floor for I didn't. For like 7 or 8 months before he blew up. Jean Laurie was like.
Can you imagine that? That's so cool,
dude. Yeah, Jean Laurie was this guy's like
hostile. He is like a fucking
mentor. No, like a mentor kind of. They would just like be up all night smoking weed and painting on cardboard on whatever they can.
So we were talking about work before we got on here, and that's what I'm talking about. Creativity. putting yourself out there. That's the goal.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It takes balls.
Like I'm a writer. I'm writing several short stories and a book, which I ever finish them. I got a meme page. I do 2 YouTube pages. I have 2 YouTube pages. I do 2 shows plus a podcast. I mean, that's a lot of content. We're putting ourselves out there. You know what I mean? It's not high art or anything. I'm not fucking, but it's something.
This is the most I've done, as far as putting something out. It's not artistically necessarily, but
I think there's merit to it. I think there's merit to having a conversation.
There's art to a conversation.
Yeah,
there's absolutely art to a conversation. Yeah.
What was his name? Philip K. Dick. I'm a huge fan of Philip K. Dick, and a lot of his stuff was based on conversations he had with friends, and he would get funny ideas, and then he would do meth and write for like 85 pages a day. But still, the other stuff counts. A lot of his stuff was based on like Scanner Darkly is based on times he had with his friends and people who died who did too many drugs or got ill, or it was about living that life. And it's just hanging out with friends. You got an idea. There's nothing. I think there's art to. The base human thing is communication, is talking. You know what I mean? Like we know how to do that, and why is that not art? There's something to it. You know what I mean?
I heard Jewel. I told you that Jewel was doing a podcast today.
Shit, was on Joe?
And on Rogan's podcast, and she quoted somebody else about it, but was saying how she was talking about how this person quoted that when you have 2 people talking, a third thing gets discovered.
There you go. So you see,
see.
Isn't that funny today that you just heard her say that? Now we're having this conversation.
Dude, it's why I had to tell you about that, because like it was fascinating here.
There's a symmetry to it all. You know what I mean?
It comes back around.
Well, time is a flat circle, my friend Nietzsche said it.
Yeah,
and he liked to eat shit and he hated women, but he was right about something.
Definitely, man. But I'm absolutely looking forward to more of the conversations that we're going to be having on this.
This sounds like an accident. Are you done?
I might have to call it a night. Actually, okay. Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, that was we've been talking for 2 fucking hours. Jesus Christ. All right.
We did 2 hours.
We did. It's 12:14 here. Started at 10:30.
Wow. Damn.
We'll call that. We can talk about other stuff next time. This was DemonPeaks, Sean, and GothPeaks. Say goodbye, GothPeaks.
Later.
Our next show will be 5 albums that influenced us. That's not that you love, it's that influenced you. So keep that
influenced me and who I am today, I guess.
It's harder than just things you like.
Who I identify as.
Whatever fuck you want it to mean. I don't give a shit. It's the fucking idea.
We'll see. It's probably going to go off into some tangent about something else eventually.
Ray Weiss's cock again, like I got on here.
Something like that.
Big fucking meaty hog that he has. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, guys.